So there I was on Wednesday, all ready to award Sad Tweet of the Decade honors. Technically, it would be Sad Tweet of the Decade. I mean, we're still early in the decade, but Sad Tweet of the Decade to Fox employee CM Punk, who had quite the overreaction on Twitter to something that the MIZ said after WWE Backstage went off the air on Tuesday. And then Saturday said, "Hold my beer." And suddenly a new contender emerged. So instead of just awarding the title to one person, I thought to myself, well, why not just award it to both of them and make them co-champions this week, like Chris Jericho and Chyna? First, Miz was the in-studio guest on WWE Backstage. Punk was not there. Punk has not been making many appearances on the show at all, really. I mean, Ember Moon has probably made more appearances on Backstage than CM Punk has. And by the way, if I can detour for just a second, I saw the interview that Ember Moon did with Booker T on his Hall of Fame podcast, which is worth a watch. It is up in full right now on his Reality of Wrestling channel on YouTube. And hearing her tell the story of how she ruptured her Achilles, because she's been out for a while. She's been out for a few months now, suffered a very serious injury, and still really doesn't have a timetable on exactly when she's going to be back. It's the same kind of injury that Xavier Woods suffered, although it sounds like hers may have been even more serious the way that she ruptured it. But she told the story of how the rupture occurred. And it's amazing. They have a lot of women out right now from injuries. You know, Ember's only one of them. Ember Moon is out. Mickie James is still out, although I don't know if she's already recovered from her injury, and they're just either waiting to figure out what to do with her, or they are coming up with some other role for her. I know she was auditioned in a commentary role a few months ago, I think on the Main Event. But Mickey's out, Ember's out, Nia Jax is still out, Ruby Riott is still out, Kairi Sane is still out. So anyway, Ember says she didn't get hurt in a match. She got hurt doing one of those dumb 24/7 title segments on TV chasing after R-Truth. And she planted her foot a certain way, and she heard a pop. And she didn't realize she was even hurt until she got home. She flew all the way home, went to bed, woke up the next morning, tried to get out of bed, and could not put any weight on the foot. Her foot just was not working. And then she realized, well, something's wrong here. We ought to go to the hospital and find out what's wrong. But again, that's a serious injury. And just imagine losing a year or more of your career because of a stupid 24/7 title sprint is basically what it was. If only the roster would chase after the writers backstage the way they do R-Truth whenever they pitch a stupid idea. They would get all the cardio they need. They wouldn't even have to go to the gym. Anyway, back to Punk. So we're not going to see CM Punk on Backstage again until January 21st. So not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. But he saw the clip. He was not tagged in anything. This was a clip that was tweeted out when the show was over. It was a clip on the Fox, WWE on Fox, Twitter account of The Miz. He was probably doing a selfie thing with his own phone. He was taking his earpiece out. The show had just ended. And he was just exchanging some playful comments with Renee Young and Paige. He goes, I thought this was the best episode of WWE Backstage. Yeah, what did you guys think? And they're all laughing. And Renee Young said it was close, or, it was around the best. Maybe it was the best. And The Miz said, sorry, I didn't change the culture. Clearly mocking what CM Punk said when he first showed up on Backstage. And he made that comment about how, just when, you change the questions, I change the culture. It really was a very corny, lame line, and I'm still not even sure what he meant by that. Miz was clearly, though, just playing around. It's a stupid little clip. He was just playing around. But CM Punk did not take very kindly to the comment. And he tweeted this in response before pulling the old tweet and delete. He said, "Go suck a blood money covered dick in Saudi Arabia, you fucking dork." And then he deleted it like a coward. Unless he had a moment of self-awareness or self-reflection and he realized how stupid it was to even go after The Miz in the first place. Of all the things for him to get hot about, to warrant that kind of response, That's what triggered that kind of reaction. I'm not even getting into a philosophical debate about them going to Saudi Arabia, but to go after Miz for that, I did not realize just how deep that hatred went for the Miz getting that WrestleMania main event that he never did. I know he talked about it on his DVD many years ago, how much it bothered him, but holy shit, dude. Let it go. It's going to be 9 years. Just let it go. Talk about a massive overreaction. Miz, and the thing about Miz, and I said, maybe there's some other explanation for it. Maybe Miz at some point made comments about Punk, while Punk, in the years that Punk was gone, he talked trash about him or something. One of the only things I was able to find was Miz actually sticking up for CM Punk. He talked to TMZ a few years ago. This is before Punk was about to fight for the first time in UFC, and there were a lot of people dumping on him and ragging on him for it. And, TMZ cornered The Miz, and The Miz was actually very complimentary, and he stuck up for Punk, and he had nice things to say about him, and he's realizing his dream, and he should be able, to do that. And I couldn't find anything nefarious or offensive that Miz has said about Punk over the years, but Punk just cannot let that go. He just cannot let that WrestleMania main event thing go. It's kind of hard to change the culture anyway when you only show up on the show once a month. And I like seeing CM Punk on backstage, the rare occasions that I catch the show. I said when he first popped up on the show and he had that first appearance, it brought new life to the show. I really enjoyed it. But the response seems disproportionate to what The Miz originally said. Punk's just being an asshole. Plain and simple. It's not a work. It's not an angle. He's just being a dick. And since he saw enough to take the tweet down, maybe he ought to take the same advice he gave to Seth Rollins and just stop tweeting.